Hello, everybody. In this video, I am going to be talking about what I think about the tariffs. So today is, I don't know, I think it's like the 13th, Sunday. But anyway, if you've been following the news, there's a lot of, if you're American or you're following the news about the United States, there have been a lot of tariff stories in the news. And I mean, basically, I just want to tell you what I think about it. So, the idea is that we want to bring manufacturing back home to the United States. And that I think is a good idea. But I've read in some of the stories that, it can't happen very fast. So I don't know. But I never really liked the idea of these companies outsourcing. Like, we've got American companies, but they're getting their products made like somewhere else in the world, like Asia. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I totally agree that we should have the manufacturing done here. I mean, I've always been a proponent of American made products. And so, I mean, it's tough on the economy, on the stock markets and all that, sure. But I think overall, it is a good idea that we should be making these things here. And for these companies, it's all about money. They don't care about, what's right and wrong. I mean, sure, it's good for American jobs to have things made here, but there's another reason, and that is just the pride. Like, I don't want my stuff made somewhere else. I want it made right here in the country I live in. So, that's been my thoughts over the decades. And I can remember Levi's jeans and jackets. And I was so proud of that company for being like a traditional American company, that had a reputation that spanned, decades and decades, maybe 100 years or more. I don't really know what their history is, but Levi's is a very famous American company for making blue jeans and jackets. And I remember one time, I think it was in the 1980s maybe, and I read, or there was a story on the news that said now they're going to start making their products over in India. And, that's like on the other side of the globe. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, that's terrible. Then I don't think it's going to be something I want to buy ever again. I don't want to buy a Levi's jacket or a pair of Levi's jeans that are made in India. The whole point of buying Levi's is they're like this famous traditional American company. And of course, they were made in USA. And I have to this date that I bought in the 1980s a Levi's jean jacket that was made in USA. Now, I don't remember when this was. Was it in the late 80s or the 90s or the early 90s or sometime maybe in the middle or late 90s? But that's when that change happened where they started saying that Levi's, it was in the news on TV, I think, would be made, or maybe it was in a newspaper like USA Today, would be made in India. And I mean, that just defeats the whole purpose of buying Levi's. I mean, it's like saying, who wants to buy a McDonald's hamburger if it's shipped from somewhere else in the world or something traditionally American like Coca-Cola. So these are these fundamental American companies that are like, you really feel American when you would have, that is back then when you were buying Levi's jeans that were made in USA, or you're getting like a hamburger or a hot dog, or, you know what I'm saying, a Coca-Cola or something, that's American. Why would you want to buy it if it's not made in the United States? That's ridiculous. I mean, I wouldn't. So, I mean, the heck with that. I just said I'll never buy Levi's again, and I didn't. So, I mean, I still have my Levi's jean jacket that is made in USA, and that's really important to me. But it's not super important. I could do without it. But I'm just saying, also, like, there were so many things that we were famous for in earlier history. And all these companies, it's like competition, because if even some of them start making their products somewhere else, then they save money, then they can sell them cheaper. And then all these people, all these customers will go buy the cheapest product. And then the companies that are still making things in the United States will lose sales. So it's not just the fault of the companies, it's also the fault of the customers that were, not buying American when they could buy something cheaper made somewhere else. But then once this sort of thing has been going on too long, too many decades or whatever, then nothing is made in USA anymore. I mean, in that, let's say we're talking about a certain product line like running shoes. So for a while, you could get, like in the early 90s, you could get Saucony shoes were made in USA. And all of the New Balance shoes, or most of them, or a lot of them were. And then they started making some of them, the cheaper ones were being made of like made in USA from foreign and domestic components, is what they said. So I was still kind of like buying some of that maybe, or trying to buy what was made in USA. And then they just started making the cheaper ones completely outside of the country. And that's when I just stopped buying New Balance running shoes. I just started buying, if I had to buy something that's made in Asia, then I might as well buy a brand that really works well for me. So then I started buying, like, I tried trying all these other brands like Saucony, Adidas, you know, I meant to say Nike, Asics, Adidas, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing. And then, oh, Reebok, right? So, whatever. So I finally decided that I thought Asics was like the best shoe for running long distance, and that Nike was the best shoe for running really fast, like racing. Anyway, so I'm just saying, I think the tariffs, in theory, are a good idea because it would force manufacturers to, build things or make things in the United States again. We should have that. I mean, it's our country. We should make things for ourselves here. And I don't want to go into a lot of there's other thoughts on this, but I don't know if it can be done all that fast that they can make the change. But anyway, we'll see how that works out. So hope you all enjoyed the video. And I just also want to say, like, you shouldn't look at one candidate or politician or political office holder as being all right or all wrong. There's this thing going on in America right now that's been going on for, I don't know how many decades, but in recent decades, there's been this big kind of like attitude among politicians and among voters, like, to really be really one-sided, like one party or one candidate is all good and the other candidate is all bad. And that's really close-minded. I mean, if you really take the time to relax and open your mind, you realize that every candidate has good and bad points, and every party has good and bad points. And, there are these people who are single issue people. They think like there's one issue that they feel really strongly about, and that lets them completely get all one-sided, though, about one party or one candidate. And I think that's kind of ridiculous. And then the other thing is they just get stuck on one party. Like they'll always vote for, the candidate from that one party or whatever. So I'm just saying, whatever candidate we have, we're going to get some good and bad things. So the best thing to do is appreciate the good things and open your mind and open your minds and enjoy life and relax and live your own life. I mean, don't worry so much about what those people are doing, because what's really important is our very own lives. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks a lot. Have a super great time.